Whoa, 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 whoa. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are, my dear people. Welcome to the Mama Africa show for Africans in the diaspora, USA, Europe, Asia, wherever you are. We bring something inspiring, some wonderful conversations talking about our strive, thrive, and hustle in the diaspora. This show comes to you every other Friday, 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, live on YouTube. Our goal is to build, reignite, reinvigorate each other in the diaspora and beyond. My name is Anna Mwalago, aka Mama Africa, and I am so happy, blessed to be on the mic with you today. I hope you will relate and comprehend my linguistic phrases as I speak your dialectic phrases. Today we have a show that is, let me just say, hot like nyama choma. For those who don't know what nyama choma is, it is, you know what, grilled meat. Yani it comes to you heavy, sweet, just sizzling like a fajita. So we will discuss with none other but my wonderful guest and friend, Dr. Kathy Kamanze is on the yeah. It will be a hot show. She's going to tell us how she made it in America. This is a doctor here with 2 PhDs. I've not even read the bio first. And of course, we'll discuss our wahalas and the troubles of living in the USA. How did you survive? How are you making it? What are the challenges, the strive? We also introduce new diaspora music. I'm going to have my friend all the way from Nigeria, Janelia Soul. She will be here today. And of course, we have our mother tongue section. Now, here, our guest will speak in her mother tongue and give us 2 proverbs. So don't miss that section, and then we'll go and finish up with some music. But first, let's go to our news around the world. Well, I don't know where to start. Things are hot. The global tech outage eases after the widespread disruption. New focus seen on risks. So there was a global outage today, right? And things were hectic in the airport. Where else? At the health centers, at the hospital. According to Reuters, they're saying services from airlines to healthcare, shipping, and finance were coming back online on Friday after a global digital outage disrupted computer system for hours, laying bare the vulnerability created by the world's shift toward interconnected technologies following the COVID-19 pandemic. Even I'm trying to think about it. Can you see how we are so united, or we are like commands, if I may say, we are so human beings are so interlinked that you cannot say even forget this. I'm African, I'm American. One thing can affect all of us.
It's a global village.
Exactly, it is a global village. So that's something. And then of course, Democratic calls mount for Biden to end campaign, but he vows to fight on. My old man, let my old man stay. I beg go. Why are they trying to remove this old man with another old man? Okay, of course, July 15th, Trump survived assassination attempt at his campaign rally. I don't even want to say more about this. This is too much. But all I can say is that we need prayers. Where we are right now in America is serious. We have 2 old men fighting for this seat. And I don't know. What do you think? I don't even want to say I don't even want to say too much, because it's just already, it is toxic in one way or the other. What do you have to say? Do you have anything to say, Dr. Kamanze?
I think maybe the one thing I can think of is the fact that I can't walk doesn't mean I can't think. So I may be tripping,
yes,
but my brain is not.
Hallelujah. Let us say, oh, that's amazing. Oh, thank you for that. Just thank you for that. Thank you. It's what we say also. Why are we here in America talking about people who are old? Well, in my African culture, we are told we should respect our elders. Give the elder a chance.
The older they live, the wiser they become.
Amen. And not about, let me not even say the other name I wanted to use. And then, of course, in Kenya, the Gen Z continue with their historic protest demanding for a better Kenya. This is where we are going to go to week 4 now, because they have another maandamano coming July 23rd.
Yeah.
And they are doing their best. As we had Ali, our last show, who was our political pundit, and we were just asking for forgiveness to Gen Zs, because I believe we have failed them. We are the ones who could have been there fighting for them, but guess what? We were comfortable. We were okay with what was going on. We turned a blind eye when others were suffering. Now here we are. They are saying, you know what? You didn't do it. We're ready to do it. What do you think?
I think they're fighting for us because we are an abused generation.
Yes.
We were beaten by our parents, we were beaten by our aunties, we were beaten by our village, we were beaten by teachers.
Yes.
And then we had a government that beat us and threatened us.
And now,
so we were an abused generation.
Yes.
You know, the generation X was an abused generation. So we are afraid. We
became timid. Yes.
So we couldn't fight because we knew the repercussion of fighting.
Yes.
So then we became protective and we raised our kids to fend and fight for themselves.
Yes.
And that's the generation that's fighting for us.
And we gave them a lot of freedom. Remember, we never grew up with a lot of freedom like we have given our Gen Zs.
Not at all.
Yes, and I think thanks to technology. So they know things even by the time you see those, I think they have these memes going on that when a Gen Z comes out from the womb, ameshikilia cell phone.
Yeah.
It's ready to work, you know? So this technology has really expounded their knowledge about so many things that, you know, hawezi mdanganya. You can't lie to these kids.
And think about it. You know, we were so abused, we didn't know mental health.
Yes.
So mental health was beaten out of you. You know, so you did not know that there was anything like that.
Yes.
But we were all suffering, we were all abused. So somebody else, another generation had to come and fight for us.
And can fight for, and they are really fighting. Well, we'll leave it there as we start our show. I know you have heard her voice, but I want to introduce her. So we're going to take a short break. When we come back, I definitely can't wait to talk to Dr. Kathy Kamanzi. And we're going to a music interlude. This is Kipenzi. And, you know, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Social media, look for me, Mama Africa Anna, on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube, and where else? And on Twitter, I'm under Anna Mwalago. So subscribe to our YouTube channel for more shows, for more performances, and definitely we are coming back to listen to Dr. Kathy Kamanzi. that was Kipenzi, and you can find it on Spotify. Look for me as under Anna Mwalago, and you can find it on Spotify. You can find it on Bandcamp, and both songs, especially Bandcamp right now, both songs are there, Kipenzi, and you can check it out on YouTube on my YouTube page, Mama Africa Anna. Whoa, I have this wonderful lady here today with me. Me, you know the way they say, me know you long time, yeah? So I want to start by just sharing with you who Dr. Kathy Kamanzi Mwangi is. And so she has over 25 years experience in entrepreneurship, business operations, digital health management, global health systems impact evaluation and research in the private and public sector. She's currently a director of international operations at the Institute of Human Virology at the University of Maryland, Baltimore, and the program manager for the Insight NIH Faculty Scholars. She is the founder, former CEO, and the board director of mHealth Kenya, which is founded to innovate, develop, and implement mobile solutions to improve care and treatment in the public and private health in Kenya and sub-Saharan African. She was also the principal investigator for all the funded projects, attracting over $10 million in grants from multiple European and American donors. Kathy has worked for multiple academic and health institutions in the United States and Kenya. She has managed multiple global programs and implementations, has won multiple awards, including an Ethical Leadership Awards, ICT Leadership Awards, PEPFAR Heroes Award by the U.S. government for impactful work during the COVID period. Kathy has 2 PhDs. Did I say? Let me say it again. 2 PhDs in health communication and health administration and a master in business administration. With all these achievements, the work she values the most is being a wife and a mother. She also finds some time to sneak out for a round of golf for a little breather. Welcome, Dr. Kamanzi, if I may call you.
Thank you very much.
I'm so happy to have you because the title of today's show is Education. What is education? Opens limitless doors. Education is the key to limitless doors. And just by the fact that I've read your bio and what you have achieved and the PhDs and all that, I don't even want to waste time, but I have to start where we always start. How did you get yourself in America? Do you remember the season?
Yeah, I do.
Uh-huh.
I think at a time when I had finished my first degree. My first degree was in education, and I actually taught. You know, during our time, we used to be posted.
Oh,
you know, you remember I just missed the baby boomer.
Wow.
I'm a Generation X, so
Wow.
I went to school them days when we used to go to NYS.
Yes.
And then we would go to university. Yes.
Where you would get bursaries.
Yes.
Yeah. Boom.
That's
Yes.
what it used to
That
be
was
called.
called boom. Yeah.
It
Yes.
used to be called boom. So, well, I finished uni. I was posted, but I didn't enjoy teaching. You know, we used to be taken to a program, or you used to select what you selected based on your grades.
Yes.
And so if you had really good sciences, then you probably would be admitted for medicine.
Yes.
It's not like we had a whole lot of choice as to what you end up.
Exactly.
And so I ended up a teacher. One, because my grades took me there.
Yes.
And two, also, it was a career that I knew. My mother was a teacher. So it just followed.
Yes.
But I didn't enjoy it. So I taught for a year, and then I just left. But I did not. So a lot of my friends were going to the U.S. So when the opportunity came, I left. And so while I had been looking to join uni at the time, I did not wait until I had my I-20. I don't know whether to say fortunately or unfortunately, but a priest in our church, in our local church, who was American, died, and I came for the funeral and never left.
Ni wale watu, they are the ones we have been waiting for.
Mimi ni wale.
The ones that do not leave. Well, don't worry, we are many of us. Me too. I came that way, and I never left.
The visitor became the owner.
So when you got here, it was summer.
Yes.
Oh, it was you had told me it was summer.
It was summer.
Wow.
It was July.
And how did the weather affect you? What did you think about it?
So you are told that it's summer.
Yes.
You're told it's going to be hot.
Yes.
But most people who've never come here will tell you, oh, it's similar to what we have in the coastal part of Kenya, which is Mombasa.
Yes.
With a little humidity.
Mm-hmm.
You do not really know what humidity is until you get here.
Yes.
And I remember when I got here, it was really humid. So when I got off the airplane, or the airport actually, it's very cool in the building. And it feels like a wall hits you.
Yes.
And so I think for me, that was my first experience. I never felt anything like that. And so we did not know deodorant.
Yes.
It's not a Kenyan culture.
Speak about that.
You're forgetting we were told deodorant causes cancer.
Yeah, but even that time, what is deodorant? Those days.
And who can afford it?
Yes, but guess what? I have an American friend who confronted me one time. I said, Anna, why is it African people don't put deodorant? I was like, listen, that is how we grew up. So this deodorant thing, I came and landed in America myself. Yeah. What deodorant? If I was using, and guess what? Imagine now we are in Nairobi. It's not that hot. But imagine people in Mombasa not using deodorant.
Oh, no.
What we need to do as civil education.
Oh, yes. I think I sweat until I couldn't live with myself.
Yes.
When you walk around and you can smell your sweat, it is time.
But now I know a lot of people now know about deodorant. It's just that, as you were saying, we have to now even educate them what deodorants to use. The ones that are aluminum free, as they say. Those are the ones that will not give you cancer. I don't know. That's the story I hear.
But I think we overthink things.
There's
two, I don't think I buy the deodorant I want without thinking about cancer, because if you are to worry, then you would not leave.
My dear.
Because everybody, I grew up with my mother saying, a microwave, food in the microwave will cause cancer. Many years we've been using microwaves. So if you were to start worrying about everything, you won't leave.
Oh my goodness, that is a story for another day. So you get here, and now what was your culture shock coming to America?
So I think that was the weather, and then the difference in food.
Oh yes.
Then you get to miss a lot of your local food, because what you in the beginning it's exciting.
Yes.
The pizza is different. You can afford it. In Kenya, where do you you can afford it.
Yeah.
And but then a burger, this thing is big.
Yes.
So the magnitude, like the plates, the food, the servings.
Yeah, and it is
I think those are the first things that hit you.
Yes.
How large the servings are.
Yes.
And the fact that here, hawauzi pombe moto.
Yeah.
You can't just go
and ask for hot alcohol.
You
beer,
can go and order warm beer. Or you ask for warm water. So I think those are some of the things. And then the water fountain.
Yes.
What is that?
You
stand in front of a fountain
and then you press it.
No, first you don't have instructions. You're just seeing people standing there. And
yes. All nafikirini magic. Where is the water
coming
from?
No, then I started thinking this thing is racist. All the white people who pass by, they get water. But now when I get there, nowhere is coming out. So then eventually you figure out, you stand around it and then,
Yes. Oh my goodness.
So there are little things here and there. And then, we also have habits that we're used to that we think are global, but they're not. We are very, we animate everything we do.
Yes,
we point with our lips.
Yes.
We there are expressions. You start your sentence with see. See, I told you.
Yes.
Then you realize, that's not a global term. So there are all those things.
And of course, those nuances of sucking your teeth.
Yeah.
And you understand.
Yeah.
I'm glad that we are not the only ones that suck our teeth. Even African Americans suck our teeth.
Yeah.
Their teeth. So we have the same culture.
Yeah.
And that's a beauty. We are all one.
Yeah.
Because I didn't even know a teenager to suck your teeth. Me, I just know it is a. That's it. That's a yes. Sucking your teeth, yeah.
Oh.
And parents will tell you, don't do that, yeah? Don't do that to me, yeah? But no, it's interesting that you mentioned about your culture shocks. Mine was chicken. When I saw chicken in America, I was so excited. Back in Kenya, when you pass somewhere in a chicken chick, you just see that chick going like this, and you are looking at it. Yes, and you are looking at it.
Kukupono.
Yeah, I don't even know what it's called, kukupono. I just know it is.
Am I allowed to say that?
I don't know. We might censor that. I didn't know that was the name, but it fascinated me that I could not afford it. And now here, it is, you can get 10. It's the cheapest thing.
Yeah.
Wait. Sinilikulaga chicken. I ate chicken until I became a vegetarian. I always tell people this chicken made me a vegetarian because I was always at Popeyes on Fridays. Give me my number 2. Until they started calling me the number 2 lady. So me, it was chicken. The weather was for you. Everybody has their own culture shocks when they come in from, of course, let's talk about us guys who come from Africa. But the settling in, how did it go for you? I mean, what made you realize, okay, I'm here to work and I want to pursue my education? What was that thing that, you know, you call it the aha moment in living in America? You're like, I got to suck in all the opportunities that are here.
Yeah, I think the reality of realizing we do not have the privilege of getting first of all, the degree that you had in Kenya is not going to give you a job here. You know, I think that was my first realization.
Yes.
You know, you don't have working papers.
Yes.
And so you can't necessarily use the degree that you had.
Yes.
And so I think that was the first, that
yes.
I have to figure out, how do I make an income?
Yes.
And so, you know, you start with your, and then it wasn't very difficult to get social security numbers.
Yes.
And, you know, we could still work.
Yeah.
But then you realize, you know, your first job is you're earning $5.25.
Yeah.
And you can't even make 40 hours.
No.
Then how do you even work?
Yeah.
And so, and then the people around you introduce you to the nursing assistant, the CNA.
Yes,
so,
yes.
So I think very quickly I started taking classes and ended up, you know, doing the CNA. And while I was working as a nursing assistant, that's when I started thinking, you know, there's something else.
More. Yeah.
You know, this is not what, I mean, we were making a lot of money, but we were making money because we were living at, you know, employment.
Yes.
You know, so you're working 16 hours a day, every day.
And you're living hand to mouth, really. Yeah.
And this country has a way of sucking up everything you make.
Yes.
You know, so all your money goes towards bills, and any extra goes towards the car payment. You know,
and sending some money back home, so you are left with nothing.
With nothing.
Yeah.
And so that's when I think I realized that, you know, something's gotta give. And so I started looking at opportunities to go do my master's.
Okay.
And so but it took a while, you know, from the time I got here to the time I went in and started my master's. I think it was 9 years.
Wow.
And so, but when I started doing my master's, I noticed that all of a sudden things started changing.
Okay.
While I was in my master's, I was able to get a better job. You know, people kind of take you seriously.
Yes.
And so when I completed that, I already knew that I needed to continue. I didn't want to stop.
Oh.
And so I already planned on, you know, doing my PhD right after. And I had a job that was going to continue, you know, I was going to continue growing for as long as I continued going to school. And so for me, I think my first PhD was more because I wanted to grow professionally.
Yeah.
I felt that was an opportunity for me to show the people I'm working with or my bosses that I'm able, that I'm better than the other, my peer. So I think for me, that was more for professional growth. It had nothing to do with academia, you know. And so later on, I did feel some form of regret that I never really used that to grow, to publish, to research, you know, what it's supposed to do. And so, you know, fast forward, I did, you know, survive. I was able to get good jobs after that.
Yes.
I was able to grow, become a director.
Yes.
And but then I woke up one day and decided I want to go to Kenya. And at the peak of my career here, just things just happened, and I got this real urge to move back to Kenya.
And you started another journey in Kenya now. Is when you started your non-profit organization, right? In Kenya.
Yes.
Because this is what I want to find out. I want to ask, like, okay, there's always something that triggers us or pushes us to a limit of say, you know, I'm going to achieve this, you know. Like you hear people who say, you know, I had to get an education because I'm the only person in my family who was going to the Ghana undergrad, you know, so I had to make sure I even get my master's. So what did you see in your past that made you, because your drive for education is is amazing. It's wonderful, and it's something that I want other people to understand, because right now people are saying, I don't need to go to the university, I don't need to get a higher education, I don't need to do that. But there's something that is there that makes you, now those doors were open, you felt like, I have achieved something, I can even go back home and be of an impact. And I think it was through your education. So what was that driving force that you had, the one that was way in it, that you were like, I got to do this?
I think so one thing I know is I didn't grow easy. I didn't grow up easy. I mean, my parents struggled.
Yes.
I was the eldest in my family, and my parents didn't have that great of an income. So we struggled. We were the guys living in Eastlands, but tuko na mashamba huku kwa kando ya barabara.
I understand that. Yes.
And I remember that what we would harvest is what we would eat.
Yes.
So that was very clear to me, and I knew that I wanted to grow up a bit different. I wanted to live better. I wanted to drive a better car. I wanted to, there is something I knew, I had a standard I wanted to have.
Yes.
And one that I also wanted to have for my kids.
Yes.
But also the one thing that I know about education, and it did for me, is the moment when I decided that I wanted to go back home.
Yes.
The places that I sent my applications, which I submitted my application
Resume.
to three, my CV to three institutions, and all three offered me jobs in Kenya.
Wow.
So, and I think for me that wouldn't have been possible at the time, if it wasn't for my education and maybe even the experience that I had gotten here.
And this is when you left, you were seeing people driving their cars, doing all these big things, and you had a wish for that, but you didn't know by that time when you were in Kenya that this can happen to you. And when you came here, through your education, you went back to be one of those people now.
Yes.
With your corner office, so therefore the education just opened a door that when you were younger, you didn't even thought about it then.
Yes.
Yes.
But when I actually went, so the income that I got in my first job in Kenya, so I think the reason for going, and I always say it's divine, because something in me just wanted to go home. I felt like my parents were aging. I'm the eldest in the family.
Yes.
I started going through emotions, feeling guilty.
Yes.
I knew my siblings were here, but my parents were alone.
Yes.
And so those are some of the things, that I was going through, a lot of emotions. And so when this opportunity happened, and I went, and I was able to get a job, I took a major pay cut. It was nothing close to what I was making here.
Oh, wow.
But I also knew at least it's an income. It's going to get me. It will be a stepping stone for my next position. But I just needed something to pay the bills for that time.
Yes.
And so my first job when I went was at Aga Khan. But from Aga Khan,
that's a prestigious
it
place.
is. It is. But it's prestigious, but it didn't pay what I thought.
Exactly. It didn't pay what you thought, but there was something that was fed.
Yes.
That was your emotions.
Yes.
Being in the ground where you touch the soil.
Yes.
And here we can't even touch soil.
Yeah.
So there is a pay in terms of what you lose, in terms of money, you gain in terms of what? Soul, love, joy. Go ahead.
But by going to Aga Khan and now being in the country and figuring out the loops, a year into that, I was able to become the country director for CDC Foundation.
Yes.
And so that's where now my journey for even entrepreneurship started, because it's through CDC Foundation that we started M Health Kenya.
Okay.
And so the projects that are that I was managing under CDC Foundation, I was able to start up a company through their support, and we transitioned the work that CDC Foundation was doing right into my company. So in my first year, actually, within 2 weeks of registering the company, we had $245,000 deposited in the account just as my first fund.
So now, what does your nonprofit do? Just
it's actually a social enterprise. It's not a non-profit. It's actually, it was registered
company.
As a for-profit.
Yeah, for
but
profit.
it didn't do for-profit work.
Okay.
It was more of a social enterprise. We would seek for funding and then use the funding to develop systems.
Okay.
And these systems would be used to support HIV work.
Oh, wow.
And so a lot of the and when I went to Kenya, what we knew was M-Pesa.
Yes.
We did not know about using mobile technology in health.
Yes.
So M-Health was actually the first company to start mobile technology in health.
Wow.
We didn't have any policies. So while we were doing the M-Health work, I had to convince the government to change policies because we didn't have policies.
Wow.
So we started with coming up with standards and guidelines on the utilization of mobile technology. Then we came up with an e-health strategy that included mobile technology. So I was part and parcel of the teams that came up with the first standards and guidelines for M-Health technology.
Wow.
My company was the first M-Health company to to do mobile work.
Yes.
And we, because of that, we also benefited a lot of funding from the US government to do a lot of the work.
Yes.
By the time I was leaving the country,
yes,
the systems that we had developed or innovated, one of the systems, so let me just put it this way, during that time, 1.3 million people were receiving care and treatment for HIV.
Wow.
Out of those 1.3 million, 900,000 were being seen using systems we developed.
Wow.
And we had systems that were helping with this transfer of test results, and which was a mobile platform that from the time we innovated it to the time we were leaving, we had already transferred over 5 million tests.
Wow.
So we've done a lot of impactful work. We also did a lot of work during COVID. And with, I think anybody who traveled during the COVID time had to download some QR code.
Yes.
That was Jitenge. It was a system that was used for contact tracing.
Yes.
I innovated that system with 2 cases of COVID in Kenya.
Wow.
And that ended up being the system used at the border points and the airline industry.
Man, so I just want, can I even clap while I'm right here? See, that's what I'm talking about when I say about this show is about inspiration, because there are somebody's listening to you and thinking about, I can't believe she could do this from just humble beginnings. You saying your shambas were on the road. I understand what that means. Living in Eastlands. What part, where were you born?
So I was born in Pumwani. We lived in Jericho.
Okay, now from Jericho to now rubbing shoulders with people in the U.S. government.
Like Tony Fauci last week.
Hey, and I'm not saying. Can you imagine? So that's what I want us to talk about, the education aspect. Then you come back and you decide you want to do another PhD.
No. That I did in Kenya.
You do your second?
My second PhD was in Kenya. So during the time I was there, so let me. My PhD in Kenya was very interesting because it happened at a time when I was really stressed.
Okay.
It was a lot of work, a lot of politics.
Yes.
Just running a company in Kenya is tough, and leadership as a woman in Kenya is even tougher.
Yes.
And so there was a period when I was very stressed, and so during my lowest moment, I went looking for a part-time job to teach. And I went to JKUAT looking for a job, and I found that they had a PhD program on health communication, which is what I was doing already in my work.
Yes.
And so I thought, the use of health informatics, systems in communication, and I realized there was a big gap because we communicate using technology all the time, but who develops the content and who goes through it, So we've been talking about data, data protection. But in Kenya, there was none of that.
Yes.
You just receive a message, you sign a consent. And so I felt that there was a gap.
Yes.
And I already have data and I have systems. So for me, my second PhD was out of passion. It was already an industry I was in. And so I went in looking for a job at JKUAT. I left a student.
But yours is not only passion, but I think it's the drive to help others. To help the community, to help not only Kenya but Africa.
Yes.
And so you come back because now you applied and got a job. And are you working for NIH or
no? So let me explain. So again, the beauty about education, because by the time towards the end of COVID, it was really, my family was all over.
Yes.
I had a daughter in Korea. My husband was here.
Yes.
My other daughter was in a boarding school. I'm alone in the house.
Yeah.
And I felt like my family had taken a backseat to my growth in my career.
Yes.
And so I felt like I needed to come, so when the opportunity at University of Maryland, came up and I applied.
Yes.
And it was a position that had been advertised and they had not filled. They kept renewing the position for over a year. And when I applied, it took them a few days to call me for an interview. And so, but interesting enough is that University of Maryland had work they were doing in Kenya, and they themselves had implemented my systems in Migori.
Wow.
So when I applied, they wondered, isn't this the same Kathy Mwangi from mHealth Kenya? Why is she applying for this job? So I think the curiosity to even interview me to find out what's going on.
Yes.
So it was a great feat, because what it did is it took what I was doing in Kenya and took it to the global world. So I ended up just using whatever experience I had gotten in Kenya with my company, and now using it in multiple countries.
Wow.
Now the NIH role just happened. It's not a very old one, but it now just narrows it to students, to fellows.
Yes.
These are people, postdocs, postdoctoral people with PhDs and medical doctors who are interested in research.
And that's what I want to talk about, that you are now opening Dr. Kamanzi, or as I call her, Kamanzi, apart from her going to school, getting all this education, impacting our community in Kenya and here, we're now opening doors for others. And that's the reason, actually, one of the reasons you're here is because you have something that you think can be impactful and people should take advantage of it. And that's the fellowship program that you're going to talk about, that you are looking for applicants. You are looking for people of color, African descent, people who are in this historically black universities. And so I want you to talk about that. But before we do that, please don't forget you are watching Mama Africa Show, and we are on youtube.com/Mama Africa Anna, and this show comes to you every other Friday 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. And we have a wonderful friend of mine here, Dr. Kathy Kamanzi Mwangi. And please tell people that you are looking for fellows, Africa say applicants. And that's why we are here. We want you to take advantage of that opportunity. So if you have what she's the requirement, please tell us even where they can apply. Go ahead.
Great. So let me start by, when I worked at CDC Foundation.
Yes.
The CDC Foundation team and my bosses are the reason mHealth Kenya happened.
Yes.
So it just didn't happen. And they mentored me.
Okay.
So I would not have known how to apply for grants or even get to the point where I'm awarded over $10 million if I didn't know people or people mentored me. So I think one of the things that I've noticed now that we are here, we don't really do much in promoting academia amongst ourselves.
Yes.
Yes, you'll hear someone has taken a PhD, you guys have PhDs, but there's a lot of other opportunities, scholarships, and I happen to be working in one. So one of the things I've also seen is that NIH funds a lot of people. This opportunity especially, gives postdocs or people, medical doctors who are interested in research, an opportunity, a one-year opportunity to get trained.
Okay.
The training, and they fund you. They give you a stipend, and it's supposed to be research that takes you to Africa, in the low middle income countries. But they also show you how to write grants. They give you opportunities to actually apply for more grants. They'll give you this one to train you.
Yes.
But then after that, you have literally like an open check, because you now can write grants.
Yes.
So I've seen people who've gone for NIH fellowship. The initial 1 year could be a struggle because you're learning, you're doing a research, you write papers, it feels like you're back to school.
Yes.
But I've seen people come out of there getting $2 million, $5 million worth of a year worth of grants to do research all over the world.
Yes.
So why not open that opportunity for others?
Yes.
We have a lot of our Americans or people who are residents here who have an opportunity to get this, especially if you've gone through historically black university, even better, because there's even more funding.
Yes.
For
those students,
Americans going to or have graduated from historically black universities. But you don't hear that.
Yes.
It's not necessarily, people screaming about it.
Yes.
So we do get a lot of applications. You're finding that it's a lot of Americans applying. We find a lot of people in the, low middle income countries applying, we never lack people applying from Kenya, Ghana, Zambia,
Yes.
But our own here don't apply.
The people in the diaspora.
The people in diaspora
Yes,
here don't apply.
And is this going to cater for those who are in Africa? Can they apply?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
And we get them.
Oh, wow. Okay.
We get them. We have there's just a class that started orientation last week. That's what I was saying.
Yes.
I was in the NIH and that's what I was saying. We were rubbing shoulders with former NIH directors and all that.
Yeah.
And there were at least out of maybe 110 people in orientation.
Yes.
We probably had 9 Kenyans.
Wow.
Who've come. So we there's never a gap with people coming from, because what we do is we provide a lot of mentorship.
Yes.
We guide them. If they don't, and you need a mentor from the, low middle income country.
Yeah.
But for the ones that have mentors at the low middle income countries, we link them with mentors here.
Oh.
But if you are here and you have a mentor here, we link you with a mentor there.
Okay.
So if you are here and you want to go do your research in Tanzania, we will get you a mentor in Tanzania. If you want to do your research in Ghana, we will get you a mentor in Ghana.
So how can people apply? Where?
So there's a call for application which we can also share.
Okay.
But I can also give my email.
Yes.
I am the program manager, responsible for the call for applications.
Yes.
The deadline for the applications is October 1st.
And you are the one. You say that again. You are the what?
I'm the one receiving those calls.
Hey, please apply or whatever you achieve. The one receiving the calls is here.
Yes.
And so they can just email you.
Yes, they can email me.
Okay.
There is a link.
Okay.
We will share the
I'll
call
share
for
it on my YouTube. Yeah.
But even on the
YouTube
call
page.
of application, it has my work email there.
Okay.
So they could, if they need any guidance, any, because what usually happens is you need a mentor because those mentors have to write a reference letter. There's a link for you to go through the application.
Yes.
So most of the questions I get is the mentorship.
Yes.
But they also need, as they're applying, they need to already have a research idea.
Yes.
So again, that innovation, because you can imagine sometimes we receive hundreds and hundreds of applications. So there will be reviewers that will review the applications and they will pick the best.
The best, yeah.
And so, it's not just a matter of applying. You also have to be, but we are innovative. We are Kenyans, we've done work. I mean, I'm not a techie, but I was able to come up with ideas that have helped, millions of people.
The country of Kenya and perhaps beyond.
And beyond. And so I'm not different than, so we are very innovative.
Yes.
Why not use that innovation and get paid for it?
Yes, I will definitely make sure that I put that link on my YouTube page so that people can apply. That's one. And for us, before we are wrapping up now, so that we can come back to our mother tongue section, we're going to take a short musical break. Before that, I want you to just give me advice to the people, not only me, but everybody else. What advice would you give the Gen Zs who are deciding, I don't want to pursue higher education because, tech is there, I can do other things. It opened doors for you. What advice would you give young people?
No, I think one thing I love about Kenya is that, even as people struggle and you've done one degree and you don't get a job, they go for a second.
Yes.
I've never met any other country where in Kenya, people have multiple degrees. You find someone with a bachelor degree and 2-3 master's degrees. That's great. If there's one thing nobody will ever take away from you, it's your papers. It's your education. You see, you may not get a job, but you've been empowered with a brain.
That's true.
So even if someone doesn't give you a job, the ideas of how to make an income, you have those.
You have those. So you can be an entrepreneur.
Yes. Yes. And today, I have a company running. It's still running in Kenya. I don't have to be there.
Not only that, you are employing other people. Yes.
So mHealth Kenya is not dead.
Yes.
It's still employing people.
And then also the fact that you have 2-3 degrees don't widen your horizon. Kenya is not the only place where you can get a job. Apply in South Africa, apply different places, and no one will take your education away.
And you can work anywhere in the world.
Yes, and you can work anywhere in the world. What about women? I want to give an advice to women because as immigrants, we've lived in this country and sometimes we go through a lot of, good things and some challenges with dealing with our fellow women, pushing each other up other than drawing each other down, especially in the diaspora. What advice do you have for us women in the diaspora?
We need to support each other more. We are our own worst enemies. I think that women, we don't support each other.
That is so true.
We don't support each other. Yes. We don't mentor each other. Yes. We don't guide each other. If anything, you will hear more hurtful things said to you or about you than supportive, you know. And so for me, I shut that's noise. Yes. I shut it off. I live my life. I know my life. Yes. It doesn't matter what people say, true or not. Yes. I live my life. Yes. And I enjoy every moment. Yes. So just shut off the noise. It doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't. People will call you names. They will label you. It doesn't stick on your forehead. Yes. Live your life.
Live your life. That is true.
But don't let and even it's hard to grow. Even when you leave here and go to Kenya, it's tough to grow because it's tough for a woman.
It's tough for a woman, definitely.
It's tough for a woman.
But you see what I like about that, living your life, not only that, but taking others with you, especially those who understand it's not about, you know, what she's doing, what she got, or it's about that she is lifting me up. Yeah. And so like a friend of mine was telling me the other day, actually my best friend, she was saying, you know, Anna, when I see you and I see what you're doing with your family, I don't say, oh God, why didn't you give me that? I say, if God can bless her, God can bless me too. Yes. And so that is the idea we have to have, that we can all be blessed. There is enough for everyone. Because people think that now that Kamanze has 2 PhDs, she's taking all the work. Hey, no, but she's saying, I can do it. You too can do it. And I can show you how to do it. Yes. Just, I'm here. Come. But people get so scared when they see somebody is achieving, they think like they too cannot achieve. So I think it is important for women to know that it is time to support each other. It is time to knock that door and say, hey, you got 2 PhDs. How did you get it? You will tell them. You will not say, ni yangu peke yake. If you're out here to open doors for others, that's something definitely you will do. And so we are going to come back with women of the world. Oh, I do have some comments. Let's see if I can read these comments real quick. One mic. I'm not even going to go there about one mic, but very informative. Anna, she is the best. Kamanza, you have been told you are the best. I am the best. Somebody says here, yes, there you go. Biden will stay. I don't want to read that. But for right now, people are enjoying our conversation. People are happy that you are telling the truth. We are both speaking the truth about how education can open keys, can open not keys but doors. And not only that the importance of us supporting each other. When I go to rooms in different places, I've always said this. I always see women, they always like judge each other. You know, when you walk in, Kamanze, you're looking nice, you know. They judge each other. They look at each other. They, you know, but you know what I usually do? I flip it. When I go to a room and I see women I don't know, I introduce myself to them. I say, hi, my name is Anna, and I have a conversation. Because for me, I don't want to leave a place without knowing 2 or 3 new people, because I really believe we impact each other. And so I want us women, when we walk into rooms, not to judge, but to celebrate each other, knowing that, you know, here I can come up with a sister, here I can network, here there are opportunities, but if I go with a negative mindset, I might miss those opportunities.
And also to add, you know, we are all different. Yes. You know, there are introverts and extroverts. Yes. You're able to do that. Yes. In the environment, for example, I was in Kenya, communities or people have a way of reducing you. And so for me, what has worked is 6-inch heels. My 6-inch heels have a way of raising my self-esteem.
Amen.
So if I'm going to a situation where I feel scared or intimidated, there's something 6-inch heels does. Yes. You know, like I've had to MC events that are really big, or moderate, you know, conferences that are really big. Yeah. There's something about my 6-inch heels. Yes. And so for me, that kills the fear. Yes. And I'm able to penetrate and not worry about any noise.
I think the 6-inch plus a smile and plus that personality you have, whereby you are so charming, you are so you are funny and serious at the same time. That just breaks the ice. And so we need to have all those weapons when we are going somewhere. But above all, we need to know that, this world is enough for everyone. You can have a space in it, and I can have a space in it, and it will be fine if we are all celebrating each other.
Correct.
So today we celebrate you, and that's why we are going to play Women of the World, celebrating all the women in the world who are doing their thing, not only for their families, but for their society. We want to leave this world feeling like we emptied our soul. Yeah. We came and achieved what God wanted us to do. And I really think that, Kamanzi, you are doing that.
Thank
you. You are really doing that. And I also just want to say thank you. You always come to support me when I have shows. That's another thing.
We have to support each other.
Yeah, we have to support each other. So I appreciate that very, very much. Ladies, let's keep supporting each other. This is Women of the World. And we're coming back with our mother tongue section. I want to hear some Kikuyu words. We'll be back.
This one is dedicated to all the women in the world. Women in North America, South America, Asia, Australia, Europe, Africa. And if there are any women left in Antarctica, this one is also for them. Hey! Whoa, yeah, whoa, yeah, whoa, yeah, whoa, hey! As the flower of Africa blooms, so does a new day for the women of Africa unfold. From the time of her delivery, the African woman was not to be a liability and not a prophet. She was to be seen and not to be heard, to be abused, accused, humiliated, and despised. Yet women of Africa and women of the world have evolved and transcended despite their hardship. They have survived inequalities, disintegration, physical, verbal, and emotional abuse. Women of Africa have survived carrying firewood on their heads, bags of food on their backs, a child on their breast, all at the same time while walking to the market, talking to themselves, for their voices were not to be heard, but still we rise. Hey! Hey! Yeah, 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 yeah.
All right. We are back, and that was so amazing. I call her Kamanzi, but I can also call her Dr. Mwangi. I just want to thank you so much. This was so informative, as people are saying. It was nice that you took us through your journey and telling young people like us, even anyone, that you can study PhD in your 60s. You can do it. That there is still opportunity out there as long as you are alive. You can keep going. Yeah. And I am so grateful that we had you here. Apart from that, guys, please, if you know somebody who wants to take opportunity of this fellowship program, please contact. What's your email? Just give them your email address.
So I'll give two. My work email, the one in the call,
yes,
is cmwangi at ihv.umaryland.edu.
Okay.
Or kathy.w.mwangi@gmail.
Please take advantage of this opportunity. She is looking for us, people like us, people who are diasporans here, who are studying, but sometimes you feel like you've reached to the end. No, you can even go further. And so we are going to our mother tongue section. Our mother tongue is where we chill now. We relax. I like this section because without our mother tongues, we are nothing, man. Culture is everything. It's what we live and breathe. And thank God for us Africans who have a culture that is so strong. And our culture is even more beautiful because of our proverbs. What is the proverbs that your mother used to tell you in Kikuyu that you want to spill it right now? Please go ahead.
The first one is Mwedo Dhaka Dashayaga.
Let me try that. Mwendo jaka.
Mweda Odhaka.
Mwendo odhaka. Mweda odhaka.
Dashayaga.
Dashayaga. Hey, I'm listening.
So, you see people going to the gym and working out.
Yes.
Or they get nose rings and all that.
Yes.
And all those involve pain.
Yes.
But because you want that beauty,
yes,
you don't feel the pain.
So,
ye who wants to be beautiful does not feel the pain. So you don't, you don't,
Yes,
you don't feel
we can even say through our education, he or she who wants to further their education, to achieve, to be successful, does not feel the pain of studying.
Yes.
Yes, I like that one. What's the next one?
Jogu deremago nimeguogo yayo.
Hey, even though I'm Bantu, that one is hard. Let me say it again for me. Jogu,
which is an elephant.
Jogu,
deremago nimeguogo
yayo.
An elephant cannot. It's not impossible for the. How do I direct translation? The elephant can carry its tasks however heavy.
Wow.
However heavy.
Yes.
And so ni kama vile hata kuni yako ikikuwa kubwa huwezi shindwa kuibeba. Maybe if we translate that to so so huwezi shindwa kuibeba.
Yes.
So ideally there is nothing that you have the capacity to do big things.
Yes.
So you have a brain. God gave you a brain.
Yes.
The capacity of your brain.
Yes.
It's enough.
Yes.
You can do a whole lot of things. It's your task.
Yes.
Just like an elephant, it's your task. So, and there is nothing that you can't do with it.
Yes.
So there are, organs and parts that you've been given that we underutilize.
Yes.
But we can actually use them.
And it also, I think when you were saying that, I was thinking about mothers. I wish I can remember a Swahili proverbs about mothers. Is when they say, mothers, the tenacity of a mother, the grace and courage, and a mother can achieve anything. You have 10 kids. People like, how did you get now 10 kids? In America, standing now 10 kids is too much. But our mothers, our great grandmothers had 10 kids, and they raised all of us perfectly. Meaning that responsibility, they got it.
Yeah, you come with your plate.
Yes. Yes. I want to thank you so much for being here today. This was amazing. I am inspired. I know other people out there are inspired. Please keep on, as they say, what is the song that say? Keep on moving on. Keep on climbing that ladder. And thank you for bringing us with you. That's one thing that we always need to do. I hear of people who are doctors and PhD holders, but they are not bringing others. If you are a PhD holder and you live in a village and you have a house that is beautiful, your people should not live in huts. You should now even make sure they have
bring them
exactly. And that's what you're doing. And we want to thank you so much. And I'll definitely put that information so that people can take advantage of that opportunity. And how else can we find you on Instagram or on social media?
So in Facebook, I'm Kathy Kamanze. LinkedIn, I'm Dr. Kathy Mwangi.
Yes.
Instagram, I think I'm C Mwangi. So
and those are it.
I think I'm in X. As DRC Mwangi.
Oh, wow.
So,
wow. Okay. Thank you. Please look for her on the social media handles. We'll put the information on my YouTube page at the end of the show. And before we even finish up the show, we have one section that is called the Diaspora Music segment, because me as an artist, I have to support my fellow artists here in America, especially Africans who are trying to do their thing, who are now, we cannot compete with Burna Boy and them, but we can at least also make other people dance. We can make other people move. And so I have none other but my sister, Janelia Soul, all the way from Baltimore, by the way of Nigeria. Hey, Janelia, welcome to the show.
Hello, Anna. How are you?
I'm good. It's so nice to see you. You know I love your hair. Every time I look at that hair and your glasses,
you.
and you are doing well on TikTok. I've been following you. But
Thank
your
you.
music, tell us about your music, Janelia. Tell us about what kind of music it is. It is Afro jazz, Afro pop, and then definitely we'll have to hear one or two of your songs. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, I categorize my music as world fusion. It's funny because before Afrobeat became really popular in the US, we were just calling ourselves world music fusion. But since Afrobeat has now taken over the world, we have since adopted that terminology. So in short, you can just say Afrofusion, which is
Afrofusion.
another terminology that a lot of people are using right now. So it's a fusion of soul, Nigerian folk music,
Yes.
a little bit of jazz, some reggae. I'm just a fusionist. So that's it in a nutshell.
And when did you start performing or singing or taking your art seriously? Because I know you wear more than one hat. You are also something else. You will tell us what other things you have, the other side hustle, if I may call them that, but not really your side hustle. Other things that you do that make Janelia Janelia.
Okay. Well, the first part of your question, I've been doing music for about 20 years. I remember the very first professional show that I got was at Artscape about 20 years ago, and I've since been doing a lot of festivals and concert series in the DMV area.
Yes.
And I have a few releases officially on my label.
Yes.
Now, in addition to that, I consider my full-time job really is a mother and a wife,
Yes.
because that always takes priority over everything else that I do, including my music.
Yes.
And then 9 to 5, I also work in tech, and I'm able to use some of my creative skills there, and I love it. I wouldn't trade it for the world. I work from home, which allows me the flexibility to do my music,
Yes.
and be a mom and some other things.
Yes. And of course, later on, I'll bring you next show or one of these shows. We're definitely going to talk about the NFTs because I know you know so much about that. And so I want us to,
actually.
Yes. So I want us to just introduce your song that you want us to play because I want, and then where we can find the music, because it's about promoting each other. So I want to promote you in terms of where can we find your music? Where can people purchase the music or listen to it? And so which song do you want to share with us first?
Well, we can listen to Coco first. Coco actually is one of my money-making songs, so to speak, because I was able to get a brand deal with that song with the chocolate company, because of course the song is talking about cocoa, which is a product used to make chocolate.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's available on all streaming platforms. And if you want to find me, everything is Janelia Soul. And it's very easy to remember. It's Jane, like Jane, then Lia Soul. That's it. Janelia Soul. And all my social media handles, my website, and on Spotify, all streaming platforms, everything is Janelia Soul.
So can we play? Are we gonna be playing a Coco right now?
Sure.
Hey. Hey. Now I know that's what language is that? Yoruba.
It's Yoruba.
Aha. My you know I'm also a Yoruba woman.
Hey.
I do. Me, I be a Yoruba woman. Hey, I like Yoruba culture is so rich. It is so rich if you know about it. Hey, let's play that Coco again. I want to hear just what inspired you to write this song.
Actually, it's a folk song in public domain back home that I rewrote it to be more modern and added my own original lyrics to it. But just to give you a snippet of what the song is about, it's about a farmer that plants cocoa. And the message of the song is that you reap what you sow. So it's saying that when a farmer plants cocoa, he's going to reap cocoa. Essentially, whatever you put out into the world is what you get back.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And Janelia Soul, she said we can find her on her social media handles as Janelia Soul, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, yes. Now let's go to the second song before we wrap up, because now we're gonna wrap up soon. What before even I play the second song, what makes you keep going on and creating more music? Given that right now I feel bad because we're not selling our CDs no more, Janelia. You know how we used to make our side hustle. You go
I
to a
know.
show and you got your CDs lay out there, and now
Yes.
everything is streamed. What keeps you going?
Well, the inspiration just comes automatically. I wish I could like throw it away. Or sometimes, you as an independent artist, you get frustrated
Yes,
because you're not doing as well as Born Boy and all
yeah,
those people.
yes,
So there are times that I'm like, I'm tired of this hustle.
yes,
But then I keep getting inspiration to write new songs. It
yes.
keeps coming to me, and I just cannot find a way to put it down. So as a result, I will continue to make music
yes.
until the inspiration stops, which I seriously
It's
doubt
not
that's
going to
gonna
stop
happen.
because
It's
God
not
put
gonna
that
stop.
God put that talent into you, so it will never stop. It is what it is.
Exactly.
You came with it. When you know when we
Exactly.
are born, you come with your gifts. This is your gift that you are giving to
Exactly.
us, and so it will never stop. And please don't stop, because you are a wonderful songstress. I have seen
Thank
you
you.
performing. Your shows are amazing. Do you have another show coming up?
Actually, I do. I have one on the 30th in DC.
Oh,
Yeah.
where
And I
in
have
DC?
my tour schedule on my website. It's at the plaza,
Uh-huh.
Ronald Reagan building. There's like a court. There's a court with it's like in
Yes,
the middle
I
of a
know
whole
the
bunch of
plaza
government
where people
buildings.
perform. Yes.
Yeah, so I'm doing that next. It's like a lunchtime performance. So I'm
Yes.
doing that
Uh-huh.
next, not next Tuesday, but the following Tuesday on
Oh,
the
yes.
30th of
And
of this month.
your website Janelia Soul has that information.
Yes, it has on my tour schedule on
Okay.
there as well.
And is it
Yeah.
janeliasoul.com?
Yes, janeliasoul.com. And then I also have a merch store,
Okay.
which is janeliasoul.store.
Okay. Please go and support my sister Janelia Janelia Soul, and we're gonna end our show listening to this music. Her next song. Which is your next song? Introduce the next one.
Yes, this is a new release titled How It Started.
Uh-huh.
And it literally, I was cleaning my house one Saturday morning and I stumbled across some old pictures, which kind of like gave me a feeling of like, good memories and
yes.
nostalgia, and to see my
Yes.
growth.
Uh-huh.
And that's basically what the song is about. It's about how it started, how it's going,
Yes.
and how, I will not let limitations come my way and going
Yes.
forward. So it's like a progress check song, if you want to call it that.
Yes. Oh, please let's play How We Started.
The sky's on my limit. It is my starting point. It's time for redemption. It is my starting point. This is for me how it started and how it's going. This is for me how it started and how it's going. My vision, how it started and how it's going. Ambition, how it started and how it's going. Innovation, how it started and how it's going. Dedication.
Right, Janelia. Wow, that's amazing. That's like techno somehow. Techno. It has a techno feel.
yes.
Yes, that's a
little bit,
beautiful
yeah.
song. Yes, that's a
Thank
beautiful
you.
song. If it was playing in a club, I'll be dancing for sure. I know that. And so I want to say thank you so much. I know we didn't have enough time, but you're going to come to do your own full show so that me and you can vibe. Where you can have a
Okay.
talk about so many things. I mean, we've known each other for a while in here in DC,
Yes,
and BFB
we
area,
have.
performing
We
and all
have.
over the place. So definitely, I want to bring you over. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank
Please
you.
check out her music, janeliasoul.com, Janelia Soul, and all social media, janeliasoul.store to purchase her merchandise. And thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Oh, thank you. And say hi to your family, most definitely.
I will.
Uh-huh.
I will. All right.
Oh,
Bye.
Bye, bye. And I want to just say to my audience, to Kamanze, to the engineer, to everybody here, and definitely to God. God is also listening. Thank you for listening to us today. We had a wonderful show. I encourage you to send your proverbs. We can share them live. Also, thank you for listening to us wherever you are. We come to you live from the USA and going global all over the world. And this is Mama Africa Show. Thank you, Kamanze. Thank you, Mr. Bandio. Thank you, Janelia. Thank you, Mother, Father, God. And thank you all for listening, wherever you are. This is Mama Africa, aka Anna Mwalago, and I am out.